Hello and welcome to Earl Gordon Field here in Amherst, Massachusetts. I'm sitting around here with Matt Ford to my right, and we got the second half of the doubleheader here. Baseball team and the Dayton Flyers at that first game went by kind of slowly. A 14-6 win for Dayton, 20 total runs scored. That's an impressive outing. What did the Flyers do right there?
No, Dayton's offense was absolutely on fire. Let's get some names established here. We're probably going to hear a lot from them in the second game as well. That's Wouters, DiMartini, and Lulu, all with multiple hits. Dayton finished with 4 homers total, one of which Ty Manolfi. Ty also 8 for 17 in the last 5 games, really absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. And hot hitters are going to stay hot. Ty in the 9 hole poses a real threat to turn over that lineup and create some problems for the Minutemen pitchers. However, the real story, in my opinion, are these Dayton relief pitchers. Jacob Govern, Ben Dean, and Bennett LaPalme all pitched in relief for the Flyers in the first game. In this one earned run, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts among them. UMass's bullpen effort on the other side, 10 earned runs, 4 walks, and 3 homers given up. Starter Robbie O'Connor went 6 innings, 100 pitches, no strikeouts on the day, but won the starter battle for UMass. Tim, can you talk to me about what UMass can do better, what they can do different going into the second game?
Scoring 5 runs is an okay outing, but you want them to be more engaged here. 9 Ks, and that's been a sort of point of emphasis for head coach Matt Reynolds throughout this season is get this team to start putting the ball in play, stacking up good at bats, and that's something they definitely want to pay attention to. And then on the bump, you think obviously you're going to get a good starter out of talent. So you can almost guarantee that to the Minutemen as they take the field right here, wearing their voice in caps and spelling across the chest, giving Massachusetts across the chest as Dayton gets ready in their own dugout, wearing their road reds, white flyers across the chest with some white pants and these pinstripes down those white pants, red pinstripes. Very stylish of the Flyers. They all so far going to take a break right here with minutes to go until the opening pitch. Be right back on 91.1 WMUA. And welcome back here to Earl Gordon Field first Matt and Matt Ford Lumley. We're going to go through the starting lineup here between UMass and Dayton as UMass warming up in the field right now. Matt, what do we got out here for the Minutemen?
Well, for the Minutemen, a couple changes in the field from last game, but other than that, a very typical lineup. Anthony Tirado in center field, as he always does, leading off. Matt Trevisano and Braden Sullivan up the middle and short and second. Jack Beverly over at third. Carter Hansen in right field. Ryan Colbin behind the dish, catching instead of Michael Toth, who took the first game. Mark Willie over at first. Mitch Schroeder in the DH spot. And Sam Hill over in left field. The change from last game. Should be a good lineup for the Minutemen today. Backing up, Alan Powers on the box.
And now stepping into the box, hitting the Flyers. Michael Keyworth, their center fielder, a righty batter, hitting 439 season. He's been tearing it up in conference play as Alan Powers delivers ball 1 high, and we're underway here between UMass and Dayton, second half of the doubleheader. Powers delivery on the 1-0. Curveball wins in there for strike 1.
Setting precedent with a good curveball early, Tim. And one of the best ways a starting pitcher can truly stay down that fastball curveball mix really well paired.
Popped up into center field. Tirado ranging back for it near the ball. Nails it in for out number 1.
Tirado's a lock in center, making routine plays look easy, making the hard plays look routine. Nice catch early on, giving Powers some defensive support.
Two-hitter Rylan Luho, one of the freshman stars here. Dayton named the preseason freshman of the year for the A10, and he is hitting 426 on the year, so definitely a threat in that 2 spot.
Fun fact about Lugo, he is leading the A10 in sacrifice flies this year. So definitely has the power to get it out there, definitely can do a job. Leading the top 10 for A10 in average as well, obviously.
So ball 1 inside there. The second pitch lined out to right field. Hansen tracks looking for the glove for out. Out here, about.
You know, the quicker the outs in these early innings, the more battles you can get into down the stretch in some of those troubling innings that the Minutemen always seem to kind of falter and fail away in. So I definitely think Powers being efficient here, under 10 pitches thus far, definitely leads to the Minutemen strategy.
Now the DH, Bobby Stang, digging in, and he will stay at the same position from last game, went 0 for 3 with a pair of walks and scored a run out of the 4 spot. And takes strike 1 right here. Outside in the dirt, evens it up.
Curveball seems to be the best pitch so far, which is, you know, a righty's best friend. If your curveball is your best pitch and feeling good for that day, you're pretty happy.
That one right down the middle. 2 out here in the top of the first. Kick stride and delivery from Powers. That one's high above the letters. 2s across the board.
Dayton, not a lineup you really want to leave too many pitches hanging in the zone. You'd rather miss, you know, too high with a fastball, too low with a curveball.
That one wide out to right field. Hansen watching that one over his head and gone. Solo shot puts Dayton ahead. Bobby Stang with the oppo pop.
We're here at Earl Lord, and the wind does blow out to right. And as I was just saying, Tim, Dayton's not a lineup you want to hang too many pitches to. That ball was definitely left at the top of the zone. The Flyers are a big team at that.
Dayton hit 4 home runs in the first game previously today. Starting off right in this first inning with a bomb to right field. Aiden Zorn going to be hitting out of the 4 spot here with 2 down in the top of the first. Dayton with a 1-0 lead.
Going 1 for 5 last game was a bomb. Good showing for him, looking to kind of replicate that in this game here.
1-1 on the left fielder for Dayton now.
Powers has got to feel comfortable getting that curveball out in front of the plate and really spiking that in the dirt there. If his default miss with that curveball's up, might be a long day.
That one gets the high part of the strike zone. Evens up the count at 2-2 here. Strong fastballs riding high so far today. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into right field. Hansen ranging over and can't get it. That one knocks off the wall. Running to third is Zorn, and he'll be in there with a stand-up triple.
Looked like Hansen almost tried to rob that. Yeah, the pitch was hit hard, but not that hard. It stayed in play the whole way. Hansen might have gotten a tough beat on it.
Well, Matt, you can definitely credit that to the wind you were talking about a little bit here. You see that flag out in left field pointing directly towards the scoreboard, a smidge right to it. Those balls are carrying out to right so far. So 2 down, man on third, and Mason Dobie, the first baseman, up for Dayton. He takes ball 1.
Powers has not exceeded 5 walks in a game this season. Really done his best to, you know, limit the free passes.
Fouled away.
I believe many pitchers would rather die by the base hit than walk. So Powers is obviously living by that.
1-1 pitch fouled away again. About this Dayton lineup, they're definitely not scared. They're going to attack every pitch that's in the zone.
No, I don't think Dayton's afraid of any starting pitcher, relief pitcher that UMass has. I think they're going to attack everything with some ferocity, try to put some runs up on the board.
Got out towards the gap in right center field, but Tirado gets under it. That'll be inning number 1 for UMass. So Dayton with a 2 spot on home runs from Bobby Stang. A 1 spot on a home runs from Bobby Stang. Zoran threatening with a triple there. UMass escapes down 1-0. Welcome back. I'm Tim Brown with Matt Ford Wellman. UMass going to be coming up for the bottom of the first inning here. Matt, they struggled in game 1 to put together a strong offensive effort late. What do they got to change in this?
Well, so the first 4 in this offense, Anthony Girardo, Braden Sullivan, and Jeff Beverly all had hits in there. They just couldn't seem to put it together late. Consistent hitting multiple hit games that you expect out of your top 4 guys. Great start with a slap to left.
That one getting under it is Zorn, and he'll put it away for out number 1.
Dorado loves swinging at the first pitch, and I love hitters who love swinging at the first pitch, Tim. But man, oh man, does he have a lot of one-pitch one-hits at the very first inning? At least in the last couple of weeks here. Not to discredit his hitting ability. He absolutely cracked that ball left, but, you're almost giving the pitcher a great start with that.
At Travisano digging in now for the Minutemen. He takes ball number 1 here. As J.J. Gotti on the bump has had himself a good time recently.
Center, New York.
That one shot to center. That'll get down for a base hit by Travisano. First hit of the game for UMass.
Great job from Travisano. He really kept his hand in the center of that one. Pushed that one into center. Absolutely what you've got to do on this one is inside. Braden Sullivan coming up now. Talk about a guy who has the power to change a game in a slam. You can really do some damage here. And if you get the right some baseballs fly off the barrel.
Sullivan, more powerful than your typical second baseman for the Minutemen. Gotti delivers strike 1 there on him.
The 34 Ks on your only 16 is definitely efficient at getting the strikeout.
Mavisano leading first. Gotti the delivery on the 0-1. Back pick to first. And that outside pitch to no avail.
Those back picks as catchers, it's so hard, Tim. So tough. You're going against your body. They're easier at third, if you can imagine. But, at first as a right-handed catcher, when you're turning like that, definitely a recipe for disaster if not done well.
Another check on the runner at first. I'm sure if Sullivan swung on that last pitch, but they have it on the board as 0-2.
There it is.
Now they're changing it to a 1-1 count. One down in the inning. Sullivan grounds to shortstop. Wouters over to second, now to first, 6-2 lead. Gets Dayton out of the inning clean. 1-0 after one for the visiting Flyers. UMass not a very successful first. Back here between UMass and Dayton, the Flyers lead 1-0 after one inning of play. That's back in the field with Talon Powers on the mound. How's it been doing of late, man?
Well, let's talk about the man with the Kershaw curveball from the right side. Callan Powers has been really, settling in as the season progressed. He started off his first two starts, a no-hit battle against Copen State, and a two-hit battle against Bethune Cookman. Two great games in and of themselves. He went 9 innings combined between the piece of them. Tough game at Navy, 6 innings pitched, 9 hits given up, only 2 runs, but definitely got his licks worth. He's settled in against Davidson Ford over in Rhode Island down the stretch, and he is finishing his season so far with 26 strikeouts and 12 walks. Really an efficient season at that.
So digging in here for Dayton and taking strike number 1 is the catcher, Martin Howell. Howell Martin. He's a 233 hitter. Ball 1 outside on him, so 1-1 count on Howell. That one lined to center field, ranging back is Torado near the wall, drops that one out of the glove. Howell going to stay at second. The double to lead off the inning for Dayton.
So, Tim, let me take a crack at diagnosing where the ball seems to be flying. It shifts so far today. When you have a big looping curveball like Powers throws, that spin rate doesn't have to turn over when you hit the baseball. When you barrel a ball, it doesn't have to turn over because the ball coming out of Powers' hand already has top spin. So these baseballs are flying off the bat with incredible spin rate and just, lifting into that wind into right center field, right field.
Now a man on second for Aiden Eberly, the right fielder now. Another righty in this right-handed heavy lineup for Dayton, very contrasting to UMass's lefty-heavy lineup.
Bummer if you're Dayton and come into the righty. There's ivy all around the field, but that Ivy in right field seems to get a lot more wear and tear from baseballs there. The Ivy.
1-1 to Heberly, fouled off down the left field line.
Beautiful day for baseball, man.
Absolutely.
Much warmer than it was even yesterday and the day before here. So
I prepared this time. I put on my long sleeve along with these pants, and now it's too nice outside to be wearing them.
I almost wish I wore shorts today. It's a bummer.
That one knocked over to third base. Beverly with the catch on the line drive back into second safely is Howell. Now one down for the Minutemen.
Bauer's working very effective so far.
Now batting.
No Ks on the day, but no walks given up either. Kind of just a lot of, base hits, so to speak. But I don't even really want to say that because it seems like the double and the triple so far have been not errors, but we call them half hits.
And Wilders puts that through the 5-6 gap. The left side of infield for a single bobbled in left field by Sam Hill. Runner coming home, and he scores as Wilders moves up to second. 2-0 Dayton.
Last game, Tim, Gavin O'Brien out in left. Not his best day in the field. Sam Hill out in left now. Bobbles that ball and causes a run to score. Definitely a tough situation you're in if you're, head coach of the Minutemen trying to, figure out and pinpoint where to have some success in left field.
Yeah, tough look there, especially if your Powers, you think, you give up a single there, it's still manageable. The double play is within view, but now with that bobble, it's the same situation. Man on second with one down.
Definitely a time you want to start to hunt for a strikeout, get hits.
Ty Manolfi in the lefty's batter box here for Dayton. He takes strike number one there.
Manolfi, the hot hitter right now in the Dayton lineup, going for 17 innings. Trying to keep the hot streak alive, make a score. RBI for his team.
Powers the delivery. That one in there on the knees for strike number two.
Powers commanded the fastball and the curveball quite well thus far. A recipe for success, these curveballs just seem to be getting hit a mile. Dayton definitely, turned up the machine this week in prep for Powers.
And that one loaded into center field, a blue hit as Wouters rounds third. He's coming in to score, and it's 3-0 Dayton. If they just continue to hit, nothing Minutemen can do.
Wouters leads Dayton in OPS in conference play, with a 1.413 mark. Definitely tearing the cover off the ball, scoring runs.
As the top of the order coming back up now, Michael DiMartini is second at bat in as many innings. Pick back to first. That was a close call there. Minutemen trying to keep Manolfi on the bag.
DiMartini leads the A10 in stolen bases. He also leads the A10 in strikeouts. That comes as a consequence of leading the A10 in at-bats as well. So, just a lot of plate appearances for DiMartini. Not, invincible to the strikeout, but
We've got another pair of checks here on Manolfi. Minutemen really conscious of the runners on right now.
it'll be 7 stolen bases, caught stealing on the year. Definitely twitchy over at first as
That one's popped up. Past the foul mark on the first baseline. Sullivan reels it in for out number 2 here at the top of the second. His way in, Rylan Luho. Still with Manolfi on first.
Dayton's dynamic duo 0 for 3 thus far. That's DiMartini and Luho. Luho getting his second at-bat of the day. 0 for 1 in his first one with a fly out to the right fielder.
Another check on Wolfie.
So usually base runners will either, go up standing all the time or dive all the time. It's very odd that Manolfi's not doing the same thing. See, now he dives headfirst on another pickoff. The distance he's taking a lead doesn't change, but he chooses based off of what?
I'm not sure. It's really a mystery how they continue to look back at him.
Never four, right?
Never four.
Never four.
Never four.
Couldn't be four. I couldn't imagine a world where we see 4 pickoffs every time.
Gotta imagine Mark Willie's starting to feel like a catcher.
A little bit. He's in the squat now. He's prepped and ready for it.
The flyer from Powers, that one high. The throw down to second. That one bobbled into the outfield as Manolfi will stay at second base.
I believe the throw. It seems as if the ball just got popped out of the glove of Tirado. Tough break for the Minutemen. That was a good throw from Ryan Colvin. A quick exchange. Maybe not, a perfect on-a-line throw, but the bounce got in there in time. It was on the correct side of the bag. Not a lot more you could ask for.
Especially with UMass obviously knowing Philippine's going to take off right there with how much they picked off. A good throw, just couldn't get him. That one seeming to sneak below the zone on the curveball, so it's 2-0 on Wuho. Another runner in scoring position for Dayton. Powers, that one grounded over to third base. Beverly to Willie. And the Minutemen trying to get out of the inning. They lead 2 runs in the top of the first. Let's see what they do to respond on offense in the bottom. We're back here at Gordon Field. The Flyers leading 3-0. Second inning, the 12th defensive inning there. Yeah, oh well.
Dayton has scored runs in multiple ways this series. The first game they scored with a bunch of blasts. In these games, it's been a little bit more of the blues. A couple base hits, a couple good knocks in the last inning, and that obviously fostered 2 runs for them off a Sam Hill error and a bloop into center field. So, the Flyers are proving they can win in more ways than one, and they're demonstrating it here today.
Jack Beverly taking in for UMass in the 4-hole, trying to get something started as he grounds that one over to Wouters. Fires over to first. That'll be out number 1. Bottom of the second here. JJ Gotti has really mowed guys down so far. His last couple starts, Gotti went 13 2/3 innings with 15 strikeouts and only allowing 5 hits. So this guy is on fire as of late. As first lefty in the lineup, Carter Hansen coming in for UMass.
Hansen 2 RBIs in his last game, going 1 for 4. Looking to make an impact in this one, obviously. With nobody on, I imagine it's more of a loop than a blast, trying to kick off this inning and get the bottom half of the order for UMass, which has been known to get hot and stay hot in certain series and certain games.
first ball inside the second pitch. Those first base guys, I feel single there as Hansen almost got picked back at first by the right fielder. That was a close play. I see you tensed up after that one.
That's one of those where I don't think anybody really saw. First baseman looks pretty relaxed. Hanson looked pretty relaxed, but man, right fielder knew what was up and took a shot and almost made it.
Yeah, clearly seeing that Hansen turned his back to the outfield a little too quickly there and just moseyed his way back to first. Almost got out. As now catcher Ryan Colbin getting into the righty batter box for UMass. One down and one on here. Bottom of the second.
Hanson over at first, one stolen base on the year. 0 caught stealing. Flyers still looking to keep him close.
The delivery, strike number one.
With a guy like Gotti, 3-pitch mix, fastball, changeup, slider. That fastball away might be the best pitch you see some of the time, especially if JJ Gotti has his slider on that day and throw it for a strike, 8 times out of 10.
Outside for a ball.
Bit of an announcer jinx. Once he misses the slider, it's on me.
See if that miss was intentional here. 1-1. On the outside edge, just barely out. 2-1. And the count was Colvin.
It's really hard as a right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher to right-handed hitters to trust that slider. Because if you leave that thing too high or too middle, it's going to get hammered pretty hard.
Hansen taking off. Colvin fouls that one back. And out of play. Way back behind our head here, Matt. On it ball there, maybe from UMass. Hansen make his way back to first base. To look at the signs from the third base coach.
On a 2-1 count there, you really want to be putting that ball into play, or at least, not fouling it off to give your runner a chance to steal second. 2 strikes now, it's going to feel hard.
2-2 to Colvin outside. Count full.
Tim, some say catchers know the strike zone the best. And some say catchers have really good eyes. I caught and swung at junk all the time. So I don't know where that myth came from. But Ryan Colvin with a good take there.
Full count on Colvin. Gotti goes. Hansen goes. Strike him out. Throw him out. What a play by Howell behind the dish as the check swing at the fastball blow right by Colvin, and Carter Hansen caught stealing at second base. Dayton up 3-0 heading into the third. Welcome back here in UMass and Dayton. Dayton leading 3-0 in the top of the third. Get the bats back up here after the not roll out play. as they've got Bobby Sting, the DH, digging back in.
Staying beautiful baseball name. I will say that to get us started here.
Sting takes ball one there. His first at bat, unleashed on a homer to right field. First one of the game. That one just had some type of carry out there. Had Hanson looking at his hands, running back for it, and found its way into the bushes there, past the right field wall.
Dang, redshirted at Georgia Southern for 1 year. Put up some good numbers there, but inevitably transferred to Dayton.
Right number one with file in on him there from Powers. 2-1 count now. Foul back, evens it up. So if you're Dayton at this point, Matt, seeing how much this offense is flowing and how much it was in that last game, you have to have some type of confidence as far as what spot the game is that one fouled away again. 2 one more time.
So I totally agree with you, Tim. They're obviously trying to fight back a little bit in K10, kind of in the middle of the pack team thus far. Actually, a little lower than they're only 2 spots above UMass. But, you know, hot hitters run the college baseball. Professionals hitters get hot, stay hot. It's really about pitching. Down in college, you know, if your hitters are you're blowing through teams. I think Dayton is one of those teams where, you know, their hitters are hot. People are hitting really well right now. They have an opportunity to go do something great.
Thing is that one into left field. They'll have a single here to lead off the third for Dayton.
Should we put him on cycle watch then?
Same.
Double and a triple, man.
Double and a triple.
Double and a triple. Only the 2 hardest ones.
I will say he's the team's third catcher, so I'm not sure if the wheels are getting there, Matt.
Hey, I don't see a lot of triples nowadays. The wheels. Aside from Ellie and a couple other guys, I don't see many.
Powers delivers ball number 1 there on the Zorn.
So we were just talking about it, Tim, you know, the standings of the A10. Dayton down near UMass, St. Joseph's between them. Leading the A10, Fordham, St. Louis, and Davidson.
That one just a kick outside on Zorn would be too low.
Both UMass and Dayton took losses to Fordham in their series. You know, the Rams are playing really good right now and excelling and playing really good baseball. They're 7-2 in conference.
Bounce back. 2-1.
They got it.
Yeah.
If I can catch one, Tim, I will.
I hope you do.
I'm telling
I want a souvenir ball, man.
I got you, bud. I'll get you one. A signature A10 baseball.
To be a little secret to the listeners out there, I've got Mitchell Schroeder's first E1 home run ball as that foul ball deflects down off of the catcher Colvin and into play. A little bit of confusion there between everybody.
Thought it was a bit of a swinging bunt there. A good bunt at that rolled past the pitcher.
That would have been an incredible negative 80-degree launching.
Negative 80-degree launching. Did you calculate that already?
I did. What do you think the glass?
See, got them Google glasses. I can dig it.
2-2 to Zorn. Rock out to center field. Torado tries to. He does bring it back. By Anthony Torado. Climbing the wall to steal a home run from the Flyers.
I don't know how else to describe this play besides nasty. Climbing the wall, getting up there, and bringing back 2 runs off the board. Absolute heave into the infield there as well. Man.
There's some people out there that like to hate on baseball and call it not a sport because it's non-athletic. Look at Anthony Torado and tell me that's not an athlete.
I want to meet these people, Tim. I just want to talk to them.
I'm sure you do, as taken off for second there and unable to snipe him down is Colbin. Bobby Stang takes the base. Of course, right after I mentioned he doesn't have the wheels to get a triple, maybe he's showing it off now, Matt.
You shouldn't assume that. Just because he's a catcher.
Sorry, it's just it's a premonition after watching many big men in Boston over the years. Ball 2 here on the first baseman, Mason Doby.
I'm convinced that you only have about 5 years of youth in Boston before it sucked out. Put on a couple pounds and start lounging back a little bit. These young guys coming up are going to put on some weight down the stretch. Just watch.
Curveball flying high there, 3-0 on Doby. Powers maybe a little out of rhythm. One down here in the top of the third.
Powers big reliant on that off speed. If he can't land that, he does find himself in trouble.
Nice. 4-pitch walk there. So runners on first and second for the Flyers.
Martin Howell 1 for 1 on the day so far, doubled. Reached third and then, left stranded 90 feet away. 2 RBIs out on the pond for him. 2 quick RBIs at that.
Powers now with the pitch count up at 50 through 2 1/3 here. Delivers ball 1 to Howell.
Powers no Ks on the day thus far. We just witnessed his first walk as he puts on Doby.
Howard off down the middle. Evens up the count for Howell 1-1. That, like you said, it's interesting. No Ks. And of course, in that first game, Dayton only striking out once. There's a real emphasis here by Dayton to just put the ball in play. And it's working out. It's that kick back to first, almost airing. Diving back in is Doby.
I can respect UMass's efforts trying to get out wherever they can, but a timing pick when your starter is trying to get a double play ball might not be the wisest of decisions.
On the 1-1, that one labels the outside of the zone for strike number 2.
If you get through Howell here and you have Heberly, Woders, and McNulphy, the bottom of this Dayton lineup is just as dangerous as the top.
Certainly doesn't get easy as that one's sliding to left field. Hill getting under it. That'll be out number 2. Hill making up for his mistake, so to say, in that first inning. In the second inning, they let in a run.
Martin Howell definitely had the launch angle on that one. Definitely had the swing on it. Just caught his hands a little bit, jammed him a little bit. Definitely a good pitch from Powers there, forcing the contact.
Heberly, 0 for 1 on the day. Takes the first pitch, a curveball outside.
Good stick from Colbin there. Really good stick behind the dish. Every time I see Colbin catch, he gets a little bit better.
Framing is an art. It's definitely something you want to have in college where it's just so close. Rides high on the fastball for Powers.
Beverly lined out to third baseman Jack Beverly last time up.
Not exactly extremely strong contact there, but good. Checks at that one. Off speed for strike number 1. 2-1 with 2 outs here.
Think he's bringing the heater, Tim?
Good.
Think he's bringing the heater?
Stay on 2-1, why not? There it goes. Blasting past a swinging Heberly.
Who's across the board?
Runners on first and second for Dayton here.
You're going to bind if you miss here. Both runners will be in motion.
Powers the delivery into the dirt. Runs the count full here. 3-2, 2 outs. Everyone's going to be going. Yes, Casper looking for a way out of this inning without any damage done.
With a good hit, Albany could easily bring in 2 runs here.
Powers on the full count. That one outside. And a pat flip on the walk from Heberly. As the bags are full now for the Flyers. Vincent Wouters, 449 hitter, already 1 for 1 on the day.
Which can do damage when he makes contact.
That one, first pitch grounded to third base. Beverly would make the 6th play. Up on third base. UMass into Jane, down 3-0. They're going to be back up here at the bottom of the third. Get back action between Dayton Mark Lilly digging in for the Minutemen as they take on a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. And Matt, this Dayton UMass rivalry has been really one-sided as of late, as the Minutemen haven't won a series against the Flyers since March of 2015. That's over a decade.
You know, it's got to feel good having a 13-8 record in another guy. You know, having that dominance on another team's field really lets you feel confident when you go and you feel relaxed. You feel like you have an opportunity to go make a statement. Dayton obviously did that the first game. It's going to be, how does UMass respond on their home field?
And Matt, you talk about feeling good against another guy. Dayton UMass last year in the first round of the A10 tournament with 4-1 W for the Flyers, and they lost in the second round to VCU, the team that eventually went to the NCAA tournament. The 2-1 on Lilly is popped up high into right field. Coming onto it is Heberly, and cutting it off is DeMartini. Maybe a tough job tracking it there in the sun, but either way, 1 out. Gotti continues to work his way through this UMass lineup with relative ease.
So get this, Tim. UMass has lost 8 of its last 10 matchups. Haven't won a series against the Flyers since a 3-game sweep in March of 2015. We're over a decade now in the making of this dominance the state team has had over the past.
It's certainly impressive mark, Matt. Flyers now trying to win this one. They would attempt to extend it to 11 years. Strike one flying in there on the DH Mitchell Schroeder.
Very right, Tim. Dayton obviously won the first game in this one. UMass can win this one. We'll see if the series is decided tomorrow. where you and I'll obviously hop on the call there, and
It'll be another fun one.
will be another fun one. Will be another fun one indeed.
Anyway, UMass still searching for their first win against Dayton since May of 2023. That ball low on floater, 2-1.
I'm sorry. Rich Schroeder, 8 hits on the season, 4 runs, 2 doubles and a homer.
Bounce that one to second base. Wouters grabs it on a hop, fires over to first. Another simple out for Dayton. Minutemen have continued to put the ball in play, just not in the right places. The Dayton fielders have had their greatest time throughout the season, being the A10 in errors. Matt, what do you say about that?
I feel like anytime your pitchers start to, lose a little confidence. I think JJ Gotti's done a great job at making pitches that make Minutemen make mistakes. Good off-speed, slow, and big fastball dominance. So those are recipes to help your fielders out, to get them weak contact. Not all errors are created equal. A ball 95 off the bat right at you that you bobble is different than, a routine grounder.
So Hill waving miss at strike number 2 here. 0-2 on the Minuteman left fielder. 2 down, bottom of the third.
Gotti, another good slider there to Hill.
Waving a miss. So 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he's gone. And 1, 2, 3 go the Minutemen as Dayton with 3-0 frames to start off the game. UMass trails 3-0. Getting back here at Earl Gordon Field, UMass trailing 0-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. Stepping into the box is Ty Manolfi for Dayton. He strikes that one out to right field. Hanson going back. He jumps up, and that one's into the bushes. Ty Manolfi continues his hot streak. He'll take a lumbering jog around the bases. Putting Dayton up 4-0 here in the 4th.
Carter Hansen was about 6 inches away from UMass's second robbed homer of the day. Unfortunately, Manolfi's hot streak does continue. As I said earlier, the hot hand just rolls and rolls and rolls. Their 9-hitter is on fire, and that makes it really, really hard to pitch to a lineup like that.
I'll tell you, that was a ball, and we've talked about this wind a couple times, but that one definitely had a charge put into it that, regardless of the wind, I think that would have found its way into those right field bushes, because that one fucked up back out of play at the top of the order, Michael DiMartini.
So far, the easiest stretch of baseball played has been from, excuse me, let me rephrase that one more time, Tim. The weakest part of this Dayton order has been their top of the lineup. It's been DeMartini and Lugo. It's been their, All-American hitters. And that's usually not how these ones go. But when your lineup is on fire, like Dayton's has been, the hits come from different parts in the lineup.
Powers, delivery on the 1-2. That one grounded back up the middle, finds its way into center field. DeMartini follows up the leadoff home run with a single.
Tim, you want to know a funny story?
Sure.
My head coach in high school would make us all do diving practice, pitchers included, if a player didn't dive at a ground ball or a fly ball, they should have dove.
So you suggesting that for Matt Travisano over there at shortstop?
No, I would never suggest that to a college athlete, Tim. I don't know what you're saying.
Shortstop. That is Rylan Wuho, 0 for 2 on the day. Check over to first base there from Powers.
Tim, it just seems like everybody in this Flyers lineup is due. Everybody's due for a knock today.
They've certainly been playing like it, Matt.
Well, DeMartini just got his first. A good ground ball up the middle, nonetheless. Not to shame his performance.
Wuho.
Runner stutters over at first, almost takes off.
Seems to be the only guy to not be on base so far.
Thus far, yes. He had that deep fly ball to right, and that hard grounder to second base, though. So definitely not without his Powers fires that over to first.
I'll tell you, he spared no expense to these Dayton runs.
We had a sidearm throwing righty in high school that when he picked over, it would sink. That guy was messed up. These guys throw pretty good pickoffs.
Taking off there is DeMartini. He slides into second base safe. Another bag taken for the Flyers.
Ryan Coleman with another great throw down to second base. He's really getting his money's worth. It's tough being 0 for 3, but that's not to diminish his tosses down to second base and the efficiency he's been behind the dish thus far. Dayton just has really good base stealers.
Matt, they're getting a great jump on Powers. His high leg kick there as it falls down low. Ball number 3 on Wuho.
I'd honestly tell you, Tim, that it's less the leg kick, because the leg kick's pretty quick. It's the timing. I think he's going in a pretty predictable cadence. At second, it's easier to mix up your looks than at first.
The 3-0 falls down low again with Powers. Still no action in the bullpen. They've got runners on first and second here.
Tim, Matt Reynolds has always been the head coach to stick to the man. I definitely can respect and commend a head coach who knows what he needs out of his team and is willing to push them to do that. I think Powers can absolutely get out of this jam. Letting your starting pitcher breathe and letting him work is absolutely what needs to be done. If they send somebody down to get loose and ready right now,
a pair of guys now.
I commend Callan Powers on his effort thus far. He's pitched really good so far. I think you got to give him this inning and let him work from the top of the lineup.
Bobby Stain up for his third AB in the 4th inning. It's 2 for 2 so far. Of course, with that home run in the first.
And with that, we'll announce the 91.1 WMUA triple watch. We have put Bobby Stang on watch for a triple, or for a cycle, excuse me. I messed up the slogan.
Did you run that by anybody?
No.
Let's get a double steal here. Coleman throw down the third. Got him. DeMartini caught stealing third base as Wuho will move up to second. Now 1 down for the Flyers here.
DeMartini definitely thought he was in there. Really good throw from Coleman, and with only 3 umpires, you don't have a guy behind the bag like that. And so you can't really see that back heel. I definitely think, might have been blocked there a little bit, but good throw from Ryan Coleman.
Strike out of the day for Callan Powers. It's 2 down now for the Baymen.
See what I'm talking about, Tim? You seeing it now?
I see
To
it.
let baseball happen, Callan Powers is going to find his way out of this one. He's 1 out away. Definitely feeling his pitches, feeling his best right now. Opportunity to really, shift the momentum over to UMass.
Aiden Zorn, the left fielder, in again for Dayton. 1 for 2 on the day with a triple. He'll strike that one back foul. No crashing glass sound there from the sound effects group.
No
That was
crashing glass. When it goes over the left, I think they send the crashing glass. When it's to the right, people get scared because those are real cars, Tim.
Right.
You don't want parents running over there every 5 minutes.
Take away from the game, certainly. That one fouled back again right over our head.
One of these days, I'm going to get them. Telling you. That ball landed maybe 15 feet behind us.
That's your estimate of 15 feet. I'm not sure what we're doing here. I'm not hiring you as any kind of city planner.
What's your guess, huh?
Well,
Generous 15.
Powers delivers that one low.
With my speed, it's basically 15.
Your speed.
With my speed.
I've talked about catcher legs before. I'm not so sure about pitchers.
Powers 1 pitch away here. The 1-2 count.
Looking at that runner on second for a while. Now the delivery low and outside. It's up the count to 2-2.
Aiden Zorn, triple in the first. Fly out to the center fielder in the third.
That was that robbery by Toronto. Once again, a guy maybe we should have put on a cycle watch if that home run happens.
Oh, if that homer goes over, he's on the 91.1. Definitely that cycle watch. You best believe it, Tim. He's going up.
Your guys'
No doubt.
radar is
It's sensitive.
very keen.
Very keen and sensitive. We're there.
Ball 3 outside on Zorn. Full count with 2 outs here. Man on second. That one down the middle, swing and a miss from Zorn. Second K of the day. 4 Powers. Dayton leads 4-0 in the middle of the fourth. Up back here for UMass and Dayton with a solid inning there in the fourth. Talon Powers recovering.
Leadoff homer from Calvin Powers, not the way you want to start the inning. Obviously battled back, and that's partly due to his catcher, Ryan Tolman, tossing a guy out at third, some really good throws down to second as well, doing what he needed to do to help his pitcher, and that's obviously, going to promote success and confidence in your pitcher. Powers came back with some really strong pitches, some good off speeds, really good changeup for the last strikeout there. Just some great stuff to see from your starting pitcher.
So Anthony Torado in for UMass, swung at strike one, said the third base umpire. Is that one tied high for Gotti.
Strike. Crack eggs about it.
Yes. I would say 90.
Gotti, his pitch count still sitting down around 27 to start off the fourth.
Am I seeing that right, Tim?
I'm not sure, Matt.
I mean, Gotti's done really good so far, only giving up 2 hits, and not very consequential hits at that. But man,
It's definitely not letting the Minutemen create a lot of powerful contact as that one's fouled away down the left field line to Torado. It's his second at bat of the day.
massive shift they have on against Torado as they have taken away the third baseman, stuck him on the right side of the infield.
Down to third base.
I say it every time I see a shift like this. I say it again. Bunting, learning how to bunt. It's not that hard.
As Torado flies that one into left field, Zorn got the chase on it. That's out number one, but man, if that one had gotten down, could have been trouble with Torado's speed. So God's definitely thankful to Zorn's wheels on making that play.
Typically why you like having a left-handed left fielder, Tim, because they're running towards the line with that glove. Not to say righties can't play left field. I don't want to discriminate.
There's strike number one on Travisano.
I think that was the right word, Tim. Discriminate.
Yeah,
I'm for left-handed catchers, too. I don't care. I'm good with it.
You don't see it often ever.
No, for many reasons. There's a lot of reasons why lefty catchers don't make sense. Same with a lot of lefty infielders. Like, it makes practical reasoning sense, but
Flew low on Travisano. 1-1 from Gotti. Fouled off. The kids here at Earl Gordon Field are looking like a track meet the way they track down those foul balls.
that poor lady over there, the ball landed right next to her, and I just see 3 kids go up and, ask for the ball. She didn't know what she got herself into.
2 from Gotti, spiked into the ground.
Gotti definitely seeing the fatigue, not necessarily in every pitch, but in some of the big ones in consecutive hits.
Rounded up middle by Travisano, bobbled by Wouters, fires over the first, but not in time. Travisano taking advantage from the area of Wouters, and we mentioned it before, Matt, this game team, the Atlantic Canyoneers, they finally have their first slip up here at the bottom of the fourth.
Definitely not a good time for a slip up. Not that any time is good, but this game over a third of the way done now. Trying to maintain that lead if you're the Flyers. You're trying to even build some distance there if you can. So small little errors like this early in innings can cascade into big problems.
We're going to miss there on strike one for Braden Sullivan.
Big swing from Braden Sullivan. He's definitely a guy who can frank one if he gets a hold of it. Takes big swings when he needs to, but big swing and a miss right there.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit out of his shoes there. Swinging at the off speed, way ahead of it. Gotti, that fastball just a bit outside.
Sullivan's last plate appearance back in the first double play. 6-4-3 in variety. Trying to avoid that one here for sure as UMass tries to start off a big offensive inning.
Another big swing and a miss there. Minuteman second baseman brings it to a 1-2 count.
Some players are big 2-strike approach guys. They want to get really wide. They want to choke up on the battle. They want to kind of defend the zone, so to speak. See if Sullivan makes an adjustment.
Travisano leading off of first. Rides inside. Evens up the count on 2-2. for Sullivan.
Gotti, 2 Ks on the day. Only 2 hits given up thus far. 3 now if you count Travisano's.
Fouled off by Sullivan. He's battling here, trying to make something happen. UMass scoreless up to this point, bottom of the fourth. Just 3 hits on the day.
Time at bat for Sullivan.
Wraps that one over the left side again. Foul ball.
Dayton with an empty pen as as Gotti throws his 38th pitch now.
Yeah, Matt, still really good job by Gotti just running through these Minutemen hitters. Right now, Brady Sullivan making the most work out of any of that for the Minutemen so far. He's really dug in here.
Quality at bats are one of the most underrated statistics in baseball.
3-2 outside. Travisano sees that one go behind the catcher. He's taken off for third to throw down. He's out. So, with a fire over the third base, catching Matt Travisano as he attempted to make the most out of the pass ball there.
Now, that's a tough one, Tim. Matt Reynolds was waving him. Travisano took a stutter step to look up there and try to find the ball. He didn't trust his head coach there, trust his skipper that he was going to be all right. As he was gunned down by just an inch there.
Definitely a close play, and one I'm sure he's regretting as he heads back into the dugout. Jack Beverly with a swing and miss on strike one here. 2 outs. Sullivan on first. 2 on foul now.
You know, when you're facing a guy like Gotti with the fastball that rides true, the slider that gets away from the right-handed hitter, the changeup that drops in there, you got to keep that front shoulder and front side closed. You got to go in and dig those pitches out because they're going to work away from you. Some of these UMass hitters just leaking a little bit.
0-2 to Beverly's up near his head. Ball number 1.
Watch out. Definitely got to reset the mind there as a hitter. So anytime a ball goes high and in there, it rattles you.
About changing your eye level. Gotti, that looping curveball way over the zone. Shoots across the board now as the Minutemen still yet to score a run here. Gotti, the 2-2 pitch. That one high and inside again. 3 straight balls from what otherwise has been a completely locked in J.J. Gotti.
Braden Sullivan over at first base. 1 caught stealing on the year, 3 stolen bases. He takes off. There's ball 4. You said it right there, Tim. J.J. Gotti looked impenetrable until right about now. He gets, bailed out on a tough base running mistake, but Gotti looks to have some holes in the otherwise fast floating ship.
Now the Minutemen with 2 down, threatening. With Sullivan on second, Beverly on first, and the right fielder Carter Hansen 1 for 1 on the day coming up.
Hansen definitely a guy that can do some real damage if he can consistently get contact, and we're going to see a mound visit now.
Definitely a smart play here from Dayton, as seen a couple difficult at-bats in a row for Gotti. Matt, you're embracing the music here, and fill up with sliders so far. In this 4th inning, they had their fielding mistake come up with Wouters. Obviously, that didn't end up making impacts after that bullet of a throw from Howell behind the dish to snipe Travisano at third base. But now you see JJ Gotti got a rhythm. He had 2 walks in a row.
As a young pitching coach, you go out to have these mound visits and you start thinking about, what you're going to say to the guy. And this is when you see how strong he's starting. This is when you see, 2 outs, tough inning, definitely want to work out of this one against a good hitter in Carter Hansen. You go out and say, you're a dog, you're going to go get this. That's what JJ Gotti needs to do right now.
That's the win for both teams here. As Carter Hansen, he took ball 1, not showing up on the scoreboard just yet. We've been tied away. She had a bat, a wave and a miss. Hansen steps out. He looks a little out of it early in this at bat.
The wind is completely dead here at Earl Lord. The lefty advantage, so to speak, has left the build-up.
Gotti on the 1-1. Low 1. Hansen gives chase. Like number 2.
Hansen, a 258 hitter this season, 268 with runners in scoring position, at 379 with 2 outs. So definitely odds in his favor.
Flies that one. Second baseman Manolfi, that's Louder, is getting under it. All the way shortstop. Stop that blooper from falling in UMass. Unable to capitalize with a man in scoring position. Down 4-0 as we head into the 5th. And we're back here for the top of the 5th at Earl Gordon Field. Dayton is still leading 4-0 after a UMass inning that had its number of mistakes from both teams. Matt, how'd that one go down?
Tim, we're going to expand even off how that last inning went down. Matt Reynolds talked to you and I both after the Beanpot game against Harvard, where UMass took a tough loss. He goes, we failed at all 3 facets of the game, pitching, hitting, and, fielding. Whether that's a dugout issue or something else, I'm not quite sure. But UMass over the last 2 weeks has kind of fallen into a rhythm of kind of kicking rocks with open-toed shoes on occasion, accidentally, doing things to harm themselves. And I think, when you stop those negative mistakes and the thought that, what can go wrong will go wrong, and you start going at and attacking, kind of like this Dayton team, as you find much more success as a baseball club. UMass has definitely done that in certain facets, as Callan Powers just fired a first pitch strike in there.
So that was a ball inside that. So 1-0 on Mason Doby here, the first baseman, as he pops that one up. Foul off to the right side.
We can't see anything because it's behind the Dayton bench. I actually don't know who's caught it, but I don't think so.
Doesn't seem so. Doby still remaining up there. Rounded to me.
Lingering. Well, no, I think he's occupying the space he's allowed to occupy. So I guess lingering is the
legal definition.
Something like that. I don't like legal definition. They scare me.
Ball number 2 there on Doby. The tad outside on the lefty hitting first baseman.
You think Derek Jeter inspired the number 2 choice?
It does for a lot of guys, as Doby will fly that one into right field. Hansen coming over for it. and into the glove for out number one here, the top of the fifth. Matt, I'm going to say, and I know you'll love to hear this as a Yankee fan, but it frustrated me for years that Xander Bogaerts' inspiration for the number two was Derek Jeter.
I mean, Jeter's one of those guys that he transcends one team. He was an icon for the league. You talk about American basketball. There's a couple names that come to mind. I don't think we have to spark the debate, but there are a couple names. Derek Jeter's one of those for baseball, at least for a couple of years there.
Rounded foul there for Howell, evens up the count at 1. Yeah, man, like you were saying, don't want to start.
Now,
Especially not with me. You know, I could go on for days about it.
Tim,
Howell fouls off another one.
Tim, talking to you about basketball is it's kind of like throwing a tennis ball at a brick wall. It'll always come back. It might come back a little harder than you want it to, and you're never really gonna win.
Check swing foul that into the tennis courts where people are actively playing. Get some looks.
That's pretty close to a person there, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't want to inhibit on any future Rafael Nadal futures here. That one, strike number 3 on the curveball from Powers. And Howell will make his way back to the Dayton bench.
Then there's no Raphael. These are all just people enjoying the first sunny day in San Francisco. It's been a dark and gloomy, cloudy April thus far, and everyone here is really enjoying the sun. I see people in tank tops. It's a good feeling.
So a good day for baseball as Powers sails that one into the backstop.
Aiden Heberly looking for his first hit of the game. Had a little bloop line out to third base earlier in a walk.
He showed bunt there for a second, takes ball too high. With 2 outs here in the top of the 5th for the Minutemen.
Powers looking really dominant here in this 5th inning. Trying to work cleanless.
Swing and miss. 1-2 on Heberly.
Tim, do you like the pinstripe look from the Flyers?
I do
too.
It's
I like their
amazing.
uniform. Their catching, their catcher's gear, the baby blue. Very nice.
Fouled back, leaving up the count. 2-2 for Heberly. Across the board for Powers and Minutemen. He tries to escape this 5th inning with a 0 spot. Go low. Runs the count full here.
Powers throwing his 90th pitch here on the 3-2. Giving up 2 bombs so far on the day, a triple and a double.
Swing and a miss is there for Heberly. UMass 5th. Cleanly, they trail 4-0. Coming back up here about midway through the game. Coming back here in the bottom of the 5th, UMass coming up against Dayton starter J.J. Gotti, who has had himself a game so far.
Had himself a great game so far. From his last two games, he's had a combined almost 3 runs given up, only 5 hits total in those last games. UMass can, add 2 more on to that total for this game, but has not fared much better than any other team that's faced him. Those teams being St. Louis and Davidson in league play for the Flyers. Gotti's done really, really well in league play thus far, looking to continue that down the stretch here in these later innings.
Colvin waving a miss on strike one here. On half of this UMass order of 6, 7, 8, 9. Left hitless so far.
So are 3 of the 4 in the first 4. So
It's been a good day for Gotti. Let's say that.
it's been a good day for Gotti.
That one catches the bottom outside corner of the zone.
Forgiving call, we might say, but that's what you get when you're dealing for this many innings, especially with your off speeds.
Great job. His Arsenal still spike the 0-2 in the dirt.
Ryan Colvin had a strikeout looking in his first one, trying to shy away from the K here.
1-2 from Gotti. He catches the outside edge. And another strikeout looking for Ryan Colvin.
Maybe catchers don't have the best.
Just about everything he can for baseball there.
A little bit. We're being woke.
Mark Willie is going to dig in here on the left side. Righty-lefty matchup for Gotti. Whoever's ball number 1.
So far, UMass hitting a $154 on the day. 3 strikeouts, no extra base hits. 0 for 3 with runners on, and 0 for 2 with 2 outs. So definitely a tough showing offensively. Head coach Matt Reynolds was talking to us about Mark Willie's opposite field hitting ability and how that's been improving lately. We'll see if it shows out right here.
We have 3 singles in the last game that we covered. All of the opposite field, so he's definitely got a power stroke on him for a lefty, and you expect that out of your first baseman sometimes as he deposits that one over to the first baseman. Some light contact off the end of the bat, and Dobie makes quick work of it for number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th.
One bagger on one bagger crime right there. Not Willie's hardest ball I've seen him hit, but sometimes those ones down the line can sink and fall away from a fielder's glove. But really unlucky there.
Mitchell Schroeder digs in, taking strike number 1 here against Gotti. Two outs here in the bottom of the 5th. You have still no offensive momentum created. So you're going to miss for strike number 2.
I will remind this is UMass's second time through the lineup. This is Mitch Schroeder's second at bat in his first. He grounded out to second.
Even a miss on a ball in the dirt there on the 0-2. Fire over to first on the drop third strike and go down. And Dayton, a 15 in a row. J.J. Gotti is flowing. They'll try to keep that flow going on offense in top of 6. Coming back here for the top of the sixth, and UMass takes the mound again. Colin Powers digs in for his sixth inning of work.
You know, Powers has really done great through the lineup thus far, all things considered. But I think the hardest leg of work is yet to come. They have Wouters and some of their best hitters coming right here, DeMartini and Lujo, not far looming. So, you know, Powers really has to dig in here and work through these back innings, trying to help his bullpen out on the back end.
The turnover of this Dayton lineup is one of their scariest points, as that first pitch was a curveball riding high, and the second's a fastball in the dirt from Powers. So Wouters ahead 2-0.
Manolfi on deck. Pair of homers on the game.
Wouters, the Oranjestad Aruba native, played 2 years at Southern New Hampshire.
What a culture shock. Aruba to New Hampshire.
Absolutely, that had to be something he couldn't expect. Maybe feeling a little bit of hominess here in Massachusetts, very similar to New Hampshire in a lot of ways.
I thought you were saying similar to Aruba.
No, in no way is Massachusetts similar to Aruba, as Wouters will take ball number 4 there from Powers, so a 5-pitch walk to start off the inning. That's a lefty up in the bullpen.
Ty Manolfi now one of 2 freshmen starting in this lineup, looking to put in some work, as he has a single and a homer in this one, double and a triple A. We are back at the 91.1 WMUA cycle watch, as we'll flash that on your imaginary screen.
Flash in the brain. Never
Brain
heard the-
flash.
Imagine your own kind of, text breaking news sort of flash up. It's Manolfi. Like you said, Matt, a great part of this freshman core for Dayton. That, one, doing a great job recruiting guys coming out of high school. But 2, also recruit some great guys from other schools. They've got 4 Penn State transfers on this roster. That's a talented program to be picking.
Look, if you're a mid-major at this day and age in college baseball, you have got to be getting junior college recruits and D1 recruits. You have got to be going from both ends and trying to work the system the best you can.
1-1 now, Manolfi. Check back on Wouters, leading off first base.
Wouters caught stealing twice out of his 6 attempts. 4 stolen bags on the year, not the world's biggest threat, but this Dayton team does know how to swipe a bag.
That one struck out to right field. Hansen getting under it, and it'll be easy routine play there. Out 1, top of the 6th.
Just a casual routine play, almost to the warning track in right center, but
He didn't back up too many steps. He
No
was
thing.
playing deep there on Manolfi, and as
Oh.
he should have.
in Earl Gordon Field, play on the fence anyway. This park's a bit of a launch pad, Tim. As we've come to find out in the course of the season.
Some small dimensions here, we'll say. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Yeah.
I don't want to hear that coming from a Red Sox fan. Don't talk to me about small dimensions.
We have weird dimensions. Weird. You guys have your little short thing.
Okay, down the right field line, and we don't have to talk about this. This is absurd. Can we chalk this up to we're both nerds, and that's about that?
I think that's fair, Matt. I think I'll join you in nerddom.
Go Yankees.
Both sides.
And we're still on a broadcast. Together.
We're gonna live together. Can you believe
We are going to live together as well. Can you believe that?
Another check on the runner for Powers.
Don't worry, guys. A pitch hasn't passed yet. We're not missing any content here. Just pickoffs and
Powers still very attentful to any runner that steps on first. Says now we'll get a delivery. That one, Powers going to take off to throw down from Colvin.
Colbin's throw for sure beat Wouters to the base.
Sure if
Sullivan.
there's a bobble from Sullivan.
No, I didn't see a bobble as much as I might have seen a swim move, Tim. But you know, there's two parts to every stolen base. There's getting there, and then there's getting in, and those are two separate parts. I think of guys like Fernando Tatis, they do a really good job getting in.
Like you said, Matt, Wouter's not exactly the biggest stolen base guy here for Dayton, but he did do his work at SNHU. Maybe a little jump of levels and a learning process for him, but like you said, maybe a swim move getting him in there, trying to be more finicky, grabbing bags now. As sneaks in the top corner of the zone for Powers, Martini looking back at the whole plate umpires about that call.
Some uncharacteristic protest from the Dayton fans here. I heard a no way. It's quite quiet all afternoon. That's the most I've heard all day.
2-2 rides inside on DeMartini. Be a full count.
These UMass starting pitchers tend to find themselves in more full counts than not. And I have to emphasize how difficult full counts are for the pitcher and how tight the situation can get. As we see a foul ball here. We're going to do it again.
3-2 on DeMartini.
Wouters will be running on the swing.
7 shortstop leading off at second base here. Powers looks at him now. The delivery swung at and popped up towards the Dayton dugout. Willie coming over for it. He grabs it and slam with it back in frustration for DeMartini. It'll be out number 2 in the sixth inning.
It's got to be tough being an almost 500 hitter because going 1 for 4 means your batting average drops. For most guys, maybe you drop a point or two. Some you even go up a little bit. So, I imagine the pressure when you're such a dominant hitter to perform, especially at the top of such a performing line. Really amounted to something.
Rylan Lujo digs in again. The centerpiece really of this Dayton freshman group. Still takes strike number 1 there. Ball.
Lujo, one of only 3 Flyers hitless on the day thus far. Trying to change that with an RBI here.
So strike that one over to third base. Beverly gets the shot off his shoulder deep into left field. Wouters will score easily. Another mistake there piling up for the Minutemen, although that ball was fired over there off the bat of Lujo.
You hit the ball hard, good things happen, Tim. It's a plain and simple rule of baseball, so to speak. Lujo decided to, in order to break the game-ridden slump, take an absolute hammer crack at that fastball there, and works out pretty good for him as he has an RBI.
5-0 Flyers. 2 down in the top of the 6th. Powers will check on the runner again.
Lujo, 10 stolen bases on the year, only caught 1 time. 35 runs scored on it. So he takes off.
High fastball misses and an errant throw a little bit from Colvin. He's the runner taking second base there, Lujo.
It's going to be Dayton's 4th stolen base of the day. Excuse me, 5th now. Lujo is safe. One constant.
Very aggressive on the backs of the Flyers. That one's fouled back off the bat of Bobby Stang. 2-3 for the day.
Stang a homer in the 1st, a single in the 3rd, and a strikeout in the 4th. Now he comes up in the 6th, looking to add on to his 2-hit day.
Getting a runner in scoring position for Dayton. Powers the fire outside. 2-1 on Stang.
Powers at 113 pitches. Absolutely dealing and rolling this one as UMass doesn't look to go to the bullpen too soon.
I think they've had guys warming up for a while. and Powers continues to stay out there.
Well, you have 2 outs. That run scored off of, a borderline error. So if I'm Matt Reynolds, I'm not really concerned to pull out my starter here.
3-1 on Stang. Delivery from Powers spiked into the dirt. A good block there from Colvin to keep it in front of him at the least. Hold the runner at second. Pair of guys on the bases for Dayton.
Matt Reynolds is going to come out here.
Now
And
batting.
we'll see the end of Callan Powers' day.
Like you said, Matt, racking up a pitch count there, 113. Now 118 after that bat with Stang. Faced 30 batters today, 4 Ks, 5 walks, 3 earned runs, but 5 runs total. Let up a pair of homers here. Okay. An ovation from the UMass crowd and from his teammates as he head back to the dugout. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Dayton with a pair of runners on. Aiden Zorn, the left fielder, coming up, a 301 hitter. There's still a meeting on the mound. Matt, we've yet to see the pitcher, I believe, that's coming out here.
Well, in all honesty, Tim, I'm actually not sure of that. I can't quite see his number yet. If I'm completely transparent with everybody at home. So until I can see that and actually figure out who this young gentleman is, I'm not going to be so swift to say that.
So mound meeting and dismissing now.
It's a lefty. Number 17. Bruce Likowski. And we have seen this young man.
Have Slakowski. Fun one in multiple ways. Talking of fun way and fun in a not fun audience.
That's good. He last pitched against Rhode Island, 30th of March. 2.2 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The notable one is 2 wild pitches, a run scored on those wild pitches. Likowski's game gets a little wild tendency, but is also one of UMass's best pitchers. I thought he might be getting a start tomorrow in a bit of a bullpen game, but I guess I was mistaken, as here he is standing in front of us today.
Putting a lefty on here, again, a righty dominant lineup. We talked about it before that. I'm sure you're sick of it talking about lefty, righty,
It's just not my thing, Tim. I'm not a big righty-lefty guy. Excuse me.
It definitely does become transparent once you get to eyes. And this
So-
that's still
Even then, I still live and die by the fact that I think good pitchers pitch. Nobody ever asked Greg Maddux, do you feel comfortable throwing to insert this right-handed pitcher or right-handed hitter because, you're worried about your stuff. No, pitchers are going to pitch, dealers are going to deal. And that's when you see the biggest difference between pitchers and throws, guys who will just throw hard with velo and have one predictable off-speed are guys that can, pitch to a guy, pitch behind a batter, throw backside ball. Like, there's a lot of things you can do, but you're right. At the higher levels, the average pitcher to average hitter, you'll see a difference.
so Zorn digs in here for the first batter for Slakowski. He'll fire that one inside for ball number 1.
Last time Slakowski was out, he did a fantastic job controlling runners with 2 strikes. He did a below average job controlling runners with no strikes. He definitely struggles to get the first one as he misses for ball 2. But getting ahead as a pitcher is so important too. You can, rule the count, really dominate what you need to do. It lets the gas pedal flow easy. The energy flows easy.
Leverage to be had in those first couple pitches, and now complete leverage on the side of Zorn. As there's a third straight ball just starting out the outing from Slakowski.
This UMass defense has one run up on the board so far, or excuse me, one error up on the board so far. Should really be two. But don't be fooled. This UMass defense is nothing to be trifled with.
That one fired inside, almost hits or did hit Zorn either way. That's ball number 4. That loads the bags here for the Dayton Flyers. Coming up is Mason Doby.
Doby, another one of those hitless Flyers, looking for his first one. A strikeout in the 4th, a fly out to center, excuse me. A fly out to right in the 5th.
That you mentioned earlier, Ringo was the one to be hitless and then converted on a single. We'll see if Doby does the same here as he took ball 1. Second hit from Slikowski, his first strike of the day.
Now, this is a big at-bat, Tim. You're one really solid hit if you're Dayton away from basically putting this game out of easy reach for the Minutemen. On the other hand, UMass is 1 out away from getting out of this jam and getting back into the dugout to try to do some damage of their own.
Third pitch, a tad outside for Doby. It'll be 2-1. Free from the southpaw. Catches the top of the zone, and Doby will take a walk out of the box there, questioning that call a bit. Tubes across the board here with the bags chock full for Dayton. Kowski outside. Full count. 2 outs. Nowhere to put the man.
Now, Bruce Likowski is a very lanky lefty, so to speak. He definitely hides the ball well and whips it into the strike zone. But for this lefty hitter at bat in Mason Doby, this is an easy one.
That one high. It'll walk in a run as Doby celebrates a well grinded out at bat. In comes Lujo. That'll put Dayton up 6-0 here. As Slikowski starts off his outing with a pair of walks.
Going to be Martin Howell up now, looking to crack a couple RBIs for the Flyers. We'll see catcher Ryan Colvin head out to talk to his pitcher, Slikowski.
Yeah, much needed talk here as Dayton really threatening. Runners on every base. And just about anyone in this lineup can come through, as we've said. There's no holes here for the Flyers. It seems like anyone who has a lower batting average than you'd expect already has a hit on the day. And that's the truth for Howell as well. The catcher. We've said, Matt, you're calling for a triple out of this guy, aren't you?
Well, he only has a double on the day.
So we want him on that cycle watch, don't we?
I
91
guess.
WMUA cycle.
I guess. This is definitely going to come back. I might get stickers with it. T-shirts if we're lucky. So keep an eye out for that. But no, Tim, the cycle tracker has not been alerted.
The one inside there from Slikowski. Looks to get settled in here. Of his 10 pitches so far, 8 are balls, and that one's fouled away down the right field line. No play to be made. Off the bat.
Dayton Flyers are 3-8 with 2 outs thus far. That's a 375 clip. So definitely hitting their best when their backs are against the wall. And with runners in scoring position right now, they're looking to cash in.
That one sneaks inside the zone for Slikowski. 1-2 with 2 outs. And the bag's loaded here for Dayton.
UMass shifted in the 6 hole and up the middle.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Martin Howell. Through Slikowski exits that bases loaded jam, skipping up 1 run. walking that one in, and UMass trailing 6-0 against the Dayton Flyers here as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Bottom of the sixth coming up here between UMass and Dayton. The Flyers with a 6-0 lead after tacking on one with the bases loaded walk in the top of the inning there. Matt, we've got Callan Powers on the mound again, obviously with just 65 pitches thrown so far. He's worked his way through this Minuteman lineup real smoothly.
Yeah, Gotti's been great thus far. Really, definitely trying to extend this game. Wow.
There's a line shot to left field will be swallowed up by Zorn, but great contact there from Sam Hill. One pitch, one out in the sixth for Gotti.
Hill absolutely cranked that. You heard my exclamation there.
A correct reaction, Matt. I mean, that ball was scorched out there just directly to the left fielder. Seems like the Minutemen just can't catch a break here offensively.
Maybe the center fielder, Anthony Tirado, trying to turn the beat around, so to speak.
Back to the top of the order here in UMass. This is the guys you look to get you started as they try not to drop this series. Tirado turns on one to right field. That one's going down to the corner. It gets out. Excuse me.
They're going to call it
in that
foul.
corner.
I saw it. It hit the bushes on the right side of the right foul pole. So just about, I can't say more than a foot foul. Very, very close. Would have been a homer.
Glad you've got that view back because I can't see anything here with the Dayton dugout.
Well, for us, maybe that's a you problem, not a
That's
maybe. Maybe, just maybe.
Tirado digging back in here after narrowly missing a home run. 1-2 count on him. Gotti hits him to the half. The rough walk over to first here for Tirado. But nevertheless, a base runner for UMass here with one down in the sixth.
Nobody likes a boo-boo, but they got ice in the dugout. Your teammates will dap you up if you score. It's a way to get on, and it might be the way to start hitting here for the Mets.
Maybe a little bit of a tippy momentum builder. Feeling that we just wore one. Let's go get back at him. As Matt Travisano digs back in here. Minuteman shortstop. Takes ball one outside. Anthony Tirado with Fred on the base paths. We've seen his power speed combo be an issue for teams before.
21 runs scored on the year, 12 stolen bases from his own right.
As he takes off here, beautiful job by Travisano. Go to third. Starting to into first base save. Still a perfectly ran run there for the Minutemen as was a looping ground ball towards the second base spot where Manafoli came over from the Mets.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to do if you're Matt Travisano on a hit and run there. You want to slap the ball however you can towards the second base, because the second baseman has to put on the brakes, back up, head all the way back to the ball, make a play and a throw. So, real tough play for the second baseman. Obviously, Manafoli can do it.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is UMass's first time with a man on third safely for the day. Ball one there over the top of the zone for Braden Sullivan.
Tim, you'd be absolutely right. UMass is only hit with runners in scoring position, and that'd be a runner on second one time in this game. It's their second chance with runners where they want them to score.
Gonna mound visit here. JJ Gotti still looking like his typical self, but this UMass offense finding its flow a little bit. Maybe an unfamiliar sight for the Flyers as they won that first game by a dominant margin. Now up 6 here in the sixth. UMass trying to get something started and on the points.
So doubleheaders can be so tough, Tim, because, in that first game, you can have a performance that you want to take to the second game. You can also have a performance you don't want to take to the second game. I think Dayton absolutely, talked about, hey, we just, played our best baseball. Let's go do it again. UMass opposite dugout. We played some of our worst baseball. It's time to, go change that narrative. And that can be a hard thing to do for a ball club. Some teams are better at holding their narrative. Some teams are better at changing it.
Sullivan digging back in here with a 1-0 count on him. Men at the corners with one down. Gotti. Ball number 2 there above the letters to Sullivan.
JJ Gotti definitely digging into the reserves here. Bullpen for Dayton warmed up. He's been most likely told he's getting to the end of his rope here, giving it everything he has.
It's a third straight ball for Gotti.
3 hard fastballs at that. Gotti's really trying to, dig it and give it everything he has, so to speak.
Have you seen anything mechanics-wise that's slowing down here for Gotti, Matt?
Definitely not. If anything, it's a focused thing in the energy. Early in this game, we could see maybe he misses off speeds, but it was always a competitive miss. It stayed true. It's just that, he's just missing more of them.
Gotti fouled in the 3-strike-1 on 3-0. Now checks on the runner at first.
Something pitchers will tend to do when they get to the end of their energy level is they forget, you only have so much energy in the pitch. They won't let gravity help them. They'll try to force it. And that can cause a lot of mechanical problems down the way. So let's see what Gotti has left.
Throws it outside. Sullivan draws the walk, and now the backs are full for the Minutemen. They look for the score for the first time in this game. Bottom of the 6th, and we'll have another mound visit here. Gotti likely coming out of the game.
It's a great performance for Gotti. 77 pitches, 21 batters faced. Yeah, they are going to pull the pitcher. I just wanted to make sure there for a second there, Tim. 4 Ks on the day, 3 walks, only 3 hits given up, no earned runs. Just, another great start for JJ Gotti. And obviously has had the full support of his offense in his last 3 starts as well. So, the red and blue seem to be rolling on all cylinders now. But the Flyers will hit the bullpen.
The reliever coming on here for Dayton. Extended that mound visit by just a second. As it'll be Jackson Judy, the junior out of Columbus, Ohio. Spent a pair of years at Cuyahoga Community College in Cleveland. And he actually started there as a hitter, Matt, switched to a pitcher in his sophomore year. And he started well with a 4.09 ERA and a 13.25 Ks per 9.
In his freshman year at the community college, he saw action in 17 games going 4 for 9 in his at bats. In his sophomore year, only made 11 appearances, but as a pitcher, nonetheless, throwing 55 innings. Definitely the modern story of college baseball, working your way up. Growing from a fun submarine slot, definitely a utility pitcher. I know a guy once who did switch from the position playing the field to a submarine throwing pitcher.
That's
Yes.
who might that be?
I dabbled. No, I did throw submarine my senior year, and it was truly one of the best baseball experiences I could say. Knowing I wasn't going to play college baseball, I wanted to come be a broadcaster and a journalist. It was a fun experiment to try to help my team. It is so much harder than you think it is. It is so weird on your body. I think people say pitchers are weird, and that's a true statement. Submarine pitchers are the epitome of. You gotta put your mind in some weird places to throw upside down and a little backwards at that. So let's get a look here at Judy as he will take on a bases loaded jam with one out here at the bottom of the sixth as UMass tries to capitalize with some of their best hitters up at the plate.
Jack Beverly, the power hitter, leads the Minutemen with 6 home runs on the year. He comes in on a vulnerable situation with bases loaded. He grounds that one to the left side. Third baseman throw over 5-4. Couldn't get the 3 as Doby came off the bag on the throw from Manolfi and couldn't tag the runner out, it seems.
The umpires are going to talk about it, particularly the tag on that play. We had a pretty good angle on it, and I'm not quite sure I saw one. But that being said, we are looking through a net, Tim, and to be quite honest, my umpiring days are well behind me. So
Well, behind you.
they existed at one point for about a year, but that was a gig in middle school, I believe. So
So no skilled eyes, we'll say. Yeah.
No skilled eyes for sure. I would never claim to be good umpire. Though I do know the rule book pretty well.
This is the difference for Dayton making it out of this inning, letting a run score for UMass and having guys on the corners with 2 outs.
Now, this is odd. Usually you don't go and talk to the opposing head coach. Like, these are calls of consideration, but it seems like Reynolds is going to say, they're going to call the runner out, and Matt Reynolds is going to lose his mind a little bit. And I guarantee you what he's saying. He's saying, you had no angle. If you couldn't have seen that, there's no way you could have known better than the guy who made the call, or you would have said something.
It's an electric
Wow.
boom from the Dayton dugout. As Reynolds still talking with the umpires here to an inning-ending double play with the bags loaded.
A one-pitch double play at that.
Good showing there for Judy as far as Dayton's concerned. As far as UMass is concerned, they've just been robbed of a run. Matt Reynolds finally finishes that conversation with the umpires. Not sure what the full call is. Likely that the tag did get down, and if so, an incredible play by Doby to end the inning there.
I mean, that's such a tough play at that to come off the bag, make the catch, and make the tag. The only umpire I think that could have seen it better was the third base umpire that was playing in a middle near shortstop position. But my question was, if I was Matt Reynolds, I would have probably been as irate as he was. My question would have been, how could you have seen it? And why didn't you say it on the call? Why didn't you ask for help? Why there was a whole list of procedural things that can happen that didn't seem to get put together on that call. And that definitely would have not only scored a run for UMass, given them a chance to score more runs. And that's huge for this Minuteman offense.
Yeah, absolutely a momentum killer for the Minutemen. It remains scoreless through 6 here. Sun going down.
Can't get hurt. Got
significant shadows. See how that changes. It's a hitting matchup as Aiden Heberly digs back in for the Flyers. Drew Slikowski coming back after letting up one run in the sixth there. And they'll fire strike number one.
Mikowski doing a good job to get ahead there. Now he's got to do the hard part. That's staying ahead. He's got to keep ahead of this batter and try to work in pitcher's counts.
It was actually ball one, but now that one rifled over to second base. Sullivan to turn the throw. Missed, and a good backup there from Colvin to prevent any further damage. A miss on the difficult play from Braden Sullivan, ranging hard over to his left.
Fun little interaction there over at first between Willie and the base runner. Just between first baseman and batter. I always thought that interaction was so fun, Tim. First baseman's interacting.
They didn't put me at first base too many times because I would yap too much.
This is very true. Same for me in same regard.
So easy to be friendly over there. As Dyronson Wouters shows bunt for a second. Had the corners charging in. It'll take for strike number one there.
Slikowski getting ahead again. Dare I say, out of character. A good showing for the left-handed pitcher.
He'll make the slow move over to first, just trying to manage Heberly's lead.
Slikowski does have one of the best left-handed moves I've seen in my days of baseball. When he goes to his best move, it's pretty good.
Heberly takes off, and he'll have that bag easily with the slow delivery from Slikowski. There was no throw or play to be made there for Colvin behind the dish.
So stealing off of left-handed pitchers, especially straight stealing, is an all-or-nothing ordeal. You're either 100% safe because you're going so early that the lefty cannot get it to the catcher who can make the exchange, or you're dead to rights as the first baseman catches the ball and throws you out at second. So great play from Heberly.
That one a ball low on Wouters. So the batter had 2-1. His batting average has jumped up to 444 in this game. On 4/4, I'd add.
It's a pretty good one, Tim.
Yeah. Dyronson Wouters strikes that one over to right field, rounding the base. Is Heberly, and he will score. 7th run of the game for the Dayton Flyers. It's looking more like a football score right now, Matt.
A low-scoring football score at that, as it remains 7-0, or moves to 7-0, I should say, in the top of the 7th. Matt Reynolds is going to come out and make a pitching change now.
Another lefty ranging over, as we're going to take a break here with 2 minutes on the clock for the Minutemen as they make a pitching change here, down 7-0 in the top of the 7th. Coming back here in the top of the seventh as UMass trailing 7-0 here. They've got a pitching change. Matt, who's on the bump?
Going to be Ben Thomason getting the call, the right-handed pitcher, redshirt freshman from St. John's College High School in Maryland,
Looking to crack into a good one here.
One of two guys on this UMass roster from Bethesda, Maryland.
The breeding ground for Minutemen, Tim. It's a secret.
Matt, I'm ready to call in the pipeline.
Oh, I've been ready to call it a pipeline for a minute, Tim. I'm so glad you did.
Strike one there on Ty Manafoli as Arlington Wouters is leading off of first base here. Now 1-1 for the 9 hitters for Dayton. Another check on Wouters at first base. Stole a bag earlier in this game.
Like I said, in his last 2 appearances, has had a struggle a little bit. Against Rhode Island, he did not record an out, giving up 3 runs. Against Harvard, he threw 3 innings complete, only giving up 1. So definitely has that boom or bust in his pitching ability. Looked pretty good against Harvard, nonetheless. Definitely came in and did what he needed to do, only giving up 2 hits. A well-earned run he gave up.
Popped up out of play by Manafoli. 2-2.
One of the biggest tests in my book, this is of no one else's opinion but me, I'm concerned. I believe that one of the best indicators of a good pitcher is how much you're willing to use your defense. I think pitchers that get a lot of strikeouts are useful, but Thomason, one of the guys that uses the defense as he does here.
Slow grounder nubbed into the grass. No play to be made by Colvin. A swinging bunt gets Manafoli over to first. It's now guys on first and second for the Flyers with no one out here in the 7th and already a run coming through.
Tough part about baseball, you can, give up a hit that's too hard and get in trouble. You can give up a hit that's too soft and get in trouble. One of those cases where that ball just found the perfect place where no one could touch it. Unfortunately for Thomason, a good pitch spoiled with an infield hit.
Thompson trying to make sure that mistake doesn't affect him as the ball bounces off of Colvin and away to the right. Both runners will move up on the play. There's a wild pitch there from Thomason, got spiked into the dirt.
Tim, I'm a huge Ryan Colvin fan. I love both these UMass catchers. I think they're both having great seasons, playing really well behind the dish. But a good mentor of mine once told me, never watch a catcher's first 3 innings, watch their last 3 innings. That's when you see how good a catcher really is. And Colvin just mishandles a lower pitch there.
Strike one, sneaks in there to the inside part of the zone. And Michael DiMartini, 1 for 4 of the day. It's the Flyer leadoff hitter. Thomason, that one fouled off. That's the Mullen parking lot.
DiMartini looking to better his 1 for 4 day. 2 RBIs on the pond for him.
Two with no one out, like you said, Matt. Pair of guys in scoring position. Feels like this could be a game sealer.
Is this the dagger, Tim?
See as that one rides high from Thomason. The off speed. It's the count full. DiMartini.
Thomason and Colvin, really good connection here.
That one lined into right field. DiMartini gets a single. Coming around to score is both runners. Dayton increases their lead to 9-0.
I hate to say it, Tim, but if I'm UMass, the scarier part about this 9-0 is the rather than the 9. This Dayton offense is red hot, and you're facing a team at its best. When unfortunately this UMass offense seems to be doing worse than they would have hoped.
And Matt, it really comes off of a kind of cut short inning, we'll say, in that last one. A controversial call with the bags loaded there.
Great stop from Ryan Colby there. Sorry, Tim, I didn't want to cut you
No,
off.
Absolutely.
Great stop from him.
I'm game
great
to
athletic
appreciate
play.
any catcher any day.
Catcher lover. I can agree with that for sure.
As Rylan Wuho took ball number 1 there. Ball 2 on the skip. Runner taken off here. Colbin the throw down to second. Got him.
Talk about appreciating a catch. The great toss from Ryan. Using the carpet, letting the bounce do its job. Quick release. Textbook throw to second from Ryan Colbin.
I don't think you could have made a robot that could have thrown that back.
Nope. At least on a bounce. You'd rather it be too low than too high. Comes in right there. Great tag from Sullivan. Well done.
The ball was high, and now the 4th straight outside of the zone for Thomason as Bo will get on first.
Tim, it's really hard playing a team that's hitting so well as a pitcher because your instinct is you have to be fine. You have to be perfect. You have to miss on the cusp of being perfect on the corner there. Sometimes you just got to throw the ball down the middle and see what happens. And I think some of the best pitchers are the ones that don't take it too seriously. It's tough when there's a team that's, hitting this well.
As we see Bobby Stang digging in his 5th time today. 2 for 3 in the game. Let's had that home run in the 1st inning. That started off this Dayton scoring explosion, something they've even continued since that 1st game, putting up 14 runs and still hunting double digits here with Lujo on first.
Yeah, if you win both games of a doubleheader by double digits, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
Another 3 straight balls here from Thomason as he looks dejected on the mound.
These are the dog days of being a pitcher when, you're playing these tough innings. It's really when you see what a pitcher can do to dig in. Just like that as Thomason comes back with a strike.
Takes his free strike there on the 3-0. Take all the way from Stang as he's in a hitter's count now. 1 down. And he'll watch that one ride inside for another walk. So 2 men on.
UMass sending a player down to warm up in the bullpen wearing those super cool BP jackets. Credentials to get.
Style is about the only thing you can compliment at the current moment for the Minutemen as they seem to have morale at an all-time low right now. And the dugout is hanging their head. Their pitcher, Thomason, stared longingly at his glove a couple times after throwing 7 straight balls. And 2 straight walks here in the top of the 7th.
Tim, it's a tough day for optimism. That's when, the light prevails and we see good do its work. I think, optimism will win out, Tim. I think that it's a new day tomorrow. I think that Matt Reynolds is going to talk to his team, and that's going to be the message. We have a day tomorrow. We have a game tomorrow. All of today is washed. We can go into a brand new day, try to execute.
I love good positive.
You gotta
live life.
It's how you gotta live life. There's so much negative out there. You gotta live life the right way. Positive. But I can see your astute, negativity occasionally.
I don't like to do it, but it's what we got here.
First and second with 1 out. New batter up to the plate. Let's see what it is. Hayden Zorn, the sophomore, 1 for 3 on the day. Hitting just a lick over 300. Trying to stay above that mark as every college hitter does.
And Zorn still chasing that triple he had in the 1st inning. Hasn't put his impact on the game very much since he took ball 1 there.
An early 91.1 WMUA cycle watch continues.
The first guy, maybe.
The first guy.
As he grounds one there to Travisano at short, he'll shovel to Sullivan, over to Willie at first, and that'll be an inning-ending double play for UMass. They escape, letting 2 runs score in the 7th there. 3 runs Dayton up 9-0. Coming back now in the bottom of the seventh, UMass still scoreless here through 18 outs, hoping to make it not 27 in a row. But Matt, what can Dayton do to keep it clean through these next 9 outs?
You know, if you're my main man Jackson Judy on the mound, you really got one objective, and that is to throw the ball across the plate a bunch of times. Because you're up 9. I mean, you got a cushion. You have your run cushion. Your offense has done its job. You just need to find 3 outs on the bases this inning, and 3 outs next inning, 3 outs inning after that. That collects 9 outs. You just got to find them. You got 9 runs to work with. So, I mean, you got to attack these hits. You go at them with your pitches. You want to live in the zone. You want to miss in the zone. You want to be good.
Matt, there truly is comfortable of a situation for a hitter to come into. Excuse me, for a pitcher to come into.
Well, on the flip side of that, you know, all or nothing.
You should be loose on the other side of this as
They were together.
UMass's Carter Hansen digs in out of the 5 spot. Waves and misses at strike 1.
At the start of the season, very hot hitting from the left side. Had a multiple homer game snuck in there, but has since cooled down a little bit, trying to reignite that fire as he's 1 for 2 on the day.
Made out to the there. 1-1 is the count on Hansen. 1 for 2 on the day. No good for a strike again.
So, coming from experience, the hardest pitch to throw is that outside part of the left. Got that big room over there. The ball wants to run arm side if you're a right-handed submariner. It's just not an easy pitch.
See it again there. Running to the arm side, as you said, Matt. 3-1 on Hansen.
That's nasty. That's filth. But it's not a strike, unfortunately, because, you know, you get all that movement, all that spin rate out there. You got to control it. But the part of the problem is you throw it inside, or you try to throw it at the guy, and you do. Then you hit the guy, and, you know, plenty of submarine guys have problems with hit by pitches there. As
But it'll be ball number 4 for the UMass right fielder. He'll be on here to start off the bottom of the 7th.
Colbin over 2 on the day, hitting .222. Stars might align here. He's looking to ignite this UMass offense, get something going for sure.
Off of throwing a batter down. He takes a pitch to the hands there.
He does.
Bunt attempt, but the bunt was stuck through. Seems as if the home plate umpire thought Colvin brought his hands back quick enough to get the hit by pitch. So now 2 guys on.
Now that
Very sick.
Absolutely.
You never like seeing a guy get baseball. Your 2 tools are your hips and hands. You know, that's what you live your life with. You know, you want to keep both of those very well safe. Ryan Colvin looks to be okay over at first. Mark Willie up to
hard
plate.
hitting first baseman on the left side for UMass. He'll square for a bunt and pull it back for strike number one.
Now, Tim, you should know this outright by now. I am a big small ball fan.
Absolutely.
We are
Yeah,
down,
man, I'm
you know,
with
we are down 9 runs here. If you're UMass, you want to start, putting guys on base. I love the bunt, but what are we doing?
That one's fouled off to the left side, giving chase is Zorn, but it'll be out of play.
Willie a flyer at center field, a medium hard hit line drive at first baseman. Medium,
I like that
Schmedium,
term.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you saw the head shake, man. I think you know exactly.
I like the term.
0-2 on Willie. That one high above the zone. Close call there.
Mark Willie's no short guy, so that must have been pretty high. I think it kind of dipped away off the plate a little bit too.
Judy the fire. That one low below the knees. You hear some calls from the Dayton bullpen, hoping for a backwards K there, but to no avail.
I believe the animal rights activists prefer the term arm barn, not bullpen, Tim. So just be aware.
Sorry about that, man. I'll keep that in mind. Runners first and second here for UMass.
Arm barn was too much. I'm sorry, guys. Arm barn was too much.
Sorry, man. Let's use your positive perspective. It's a new day.
That is a new day.
Willie takes all three there again, inching up
Now,
from the bottom of that zone.
I can see the Dayton dugout's objection. You can't not get the high one and the low. I can see the objection. I think those are 3 great back-to-back calls, though. Those are all borderline strikes that are called balls, and I would have to agree. Flash pick over at second.
What? A close call there at second base. Seems like Wowder's charging in, caught Hansen off guard.
So I'll tell you, Tim, a good infielder can make a lot of plays look really close. And this Dayton infield has done a great job at making a lot of plays really close. The UMass middle infield, for the same matter. Quick tags, quick feeds.
The delivery on the full count to Willie, charged out into the right center field gap, but under it is DeMartini. And that'll put away out number 1 as UMass runners remain on their bases.
That ball was smacked to center, Tim. I mean,
Now
shot. Maybe a higher launch angle. You might be having a very different tone on our lips, but man, good at bat for Mark Willie. Hard hit baseball. But DeMartini out in center is not a guy you want to run on, especially when he has a chance to camp. So good play for Hansen at second base, cutting off the tag there.
Now digging in for the Minutemen, Mitchell Schroeder, the designated hitter on the day. We see his second game. Jared Munoz, the DH in the first matchup.
Now that's a good stick from Martin Howell in the squat for Dayton, but no call nonetheless. Home plate umpire sticking to his guns.
Here outside for ball 1. Schroeder grounds that one off the middle, off of Judy. Fire over the first. Got him. What a double play. That flip almost seamless from Manipoli to Wouters and then over to Dobie.
The bare-handed grab and throw just stretched from the first baseman. Man, oh man, is this Dayton team firing on all cylinders?
Matt, I couldn't even see that play. In all honesty with you, with how quick it happened, what a job from this Dayton middle infield to keep UMass scoreless again through the 8th inning. Flyers 9-0 with just a few outs to go with series victory. coming back here in the top of the eighth with UMass trailing 9-0 against Dayton. Incredible play there. Close the inning from the Flyers on defense. Matt, that middle infield putting in some work here.
You know, Tim, both middle infields in this game are absolutely insane. Matt Travisano, Braden Sullivan, and then on the flip side for Dayton, we have Wouters and Minolfi. Just great play from both. At the end of that inning, you see quick flips, great throws all around. That throw from second to first is still 90 feet, Tim. It's still a 90-foot throw, but those guys make it look so crisp and so seamless. And at the college level, you see those double plays come around more and more often. Great play from the middle infielders. You love to see it if you're a Dayton fan. If you're a UMass fan, just kills you.
So Thomason back on the bump here for the Minutemen after a little bit of struggle in that seventh inning. UMass maybe not trying to use up too many arms here with the game still ahead of them tomorrow. See,
Thomason only with 24 pitches can definitely go longer than this.
The fastball for Dopey. Excuse me, I don't believe that's Mason Doby anymore.
That's going to be a hit by pitch nonetheless. And regardless,
Alejandro Cazorla going to wear that one down to first base. Excuse me, not Cazorla. Saw the 4 on the back end there. It's Jack Fitzgerald, a
Braintree.
home state kid. Braintree, Mass native, went to Braintree High School.
So I'll tell you what the umpires are about to talk about here. The elbow movement from Fitzgerald is definitely up for contention. I don't know. In California high school baseball rules, you have to make an attempt to get out of the way of the pitch.
I believe it's the same for NCAA.
So it may be in which the standing there and the elbow would in fact be, grounds for a strike to be called. But the umpires need to have proof of it. I think this would be a very interesting turn from the coaches against the umpires. I don't think Matt Reynolds appreciated this crew very much thus far. Maybe with this call. Okay, so they're going to call it a hit by pitch regardless. Yeah. The men in black break up their little tea party and they'll resume play.
Thomason gonna dig back in here on the bump for UMass.
Strikeout and a double play away. Soft hit ball. Texas single incoming.
Hanson can't get it. Ball's down there in right field. And guys will go station to station here.
That makes it Fitzgerald on second. It'll be Martin Howell on first. And now at the plate, it's going to be Aiden Heberly.
Right fielder here.
And this is the best part of Dayton's lineup right down here at the bottom, at least of recent, if you're playing off of the hot hand, of course.
Well, yeah, in this game, they've shown their stuff absolutely. The bottom 3 in this order combining to go 6 of 10 so far in this game. That's a 600 batting average from your final 3 guys. I think you'll take that any day if you're the Flyers.
I would take a 600 batting average from my first 3 hitters, on average at least. Like if we're doing the line across. Now these bottom 3 hitters are really holding their weight, but it's when it matters around these times.
Pops up into right field. Sullivan ranging after it. Hanson calls him off. And he'll make the play. Has an easy throw in there. Keeps the runners around it. The light really starting to fade here at Earl Wharton Field. UMass down 9-0.
We have about 30 minutes left of light here, folks. I can't imagine for a second that we will have to play the ninth inning tomorrow, given the score and the circumstance at the moment. However, if so, we'll let you know.
Wouters digs in, takes ball number one upside there from Thompson.
The junior, 2 singles on the day, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 2nd. An RBI out on the pond.
Taking second straight ball there.
In the 9 spot on deck. Excuse me.
Say it's getting late a little here, Matt, don't you say?
It's getting late. It's getting cold, Tim.
Things are breaking up.
Things are breaking up. Just my voice, not the Comrex's voice.
Thankful.
In comparison to last time.
Very thankful to have some nice, beautiful equipment here. At strike one on the 3-0 from Thompson.
Throwing the curveball on the 3-0 is a choice. I'll say that, and I like that Thomason has the confidence in that off speed.
That one, a fastball fired down the left field line. The UMass bullpen got to be wary of that one. Runs the count full here for Wouters. And the Aruba native, the only non-North American born player here for the Flyers. Foul that one off. Let's do it again. Full count.
AJ Blanchard in the bullpen down there for the Minutemen. We might see him later this game.
Another foul off, so straight. Down that left field. Wouters.
I think taps is the right word for it. They have been barely hit. Wouters definitely looking to make solid contact, maybe find a barrel in order to, bring home an RBI or two.
Grounds that one over to third base. What a dive by Beverly. Steps on third, throw over to first. Wild. Willie can't grab it. Wouters moving over to second, charging toward third, and now taking the turn to score. Wouters going to go to third. As Dayton puts up their 10th run of the game, Martin Howell going first to third on the play. First to home, on the play. After the throw by Beverly leaked its way deep, almost to that Dayton bullpen.
The umpires are going to convene now and talk about an interference call as a runner who is out cannot get in the way of an active throw being made. They're going to try to argue and say Beverly's throw is disrupted. That would take the run off the board. Now, Tim, that's out of my pay grade. AKA, I don't know. So that's also a discussion. Do you place him first?
They called it out.
They are going to call him out. And now the umpires have both head coaches barking up the tree.
It does end up being an inning-ending double play for UMass, as Wouters is the one called out to the interference play.
Now, that makes sense. We're getting somewhere.
And that takes the run off the board, like you said, Matt. So now UMass trailing 9-0, heading to the bottom of the eighth here. We'll come back. Still looking to score down double digits for the second time today in this doubleheader. Welcome back here to Earl Lorden Field with UMass either trailing 9-0 or 10-0. Weird score disparity.
Call it 9.5.
9.5.
UMass down 9.5 to nothing. It works.
Something else weird. This batter's eye center field has been going down. I saw it.
The Mullins Maniacs came in and did a number on Earl Lorden. You know, we have vandalism rampant in Amherst now. The wind during the bean pot match unfortunately stopped the game for about 5 minutes in there while they figured out what to do. Some lovely employees went back and taped the batter's eye to the back of the fence so it wouldn't blow around, inevitably pulling it down. So some trees and a parking lot behind Earl Lorden, and that's about all the batter's eye is. I can't say it's made much of a difference for Dayton. UMass has clearly struggled without the black backdrop. I think that's what they'll chalk it up to today.
And as we continue here in the bottom of the 8th, they're still counting that 10th run on the board, despite it scoring after the supposed forced double play.
Now, Tim, that feels a little janky. Some would say even goofy. I'm not sure I agree with that. So I think it should be 9-0. But we'll call it 9.5.
Is that our official end of game report? If no runs are scored here,
Yeah, we're
will
calling
call
it 9.5.
I think we can agree on that.
My computer's going to... That's fine.
Go noteless here, in all honesty, Matt. Just a free, beautiful day in Amherst, Mass. A great day for baseball, and it's been a great day for Dayton overall. For these 2 wins in the doubleheader, they scored 24 runs to UMass's combined 5, with none of those 5 coming so far in the second game.
Jackson Judy on the bump still for the Flyers as he induces another foul ball. Brings the count to 1-2. Jackson Judy, back on what I was trying to say, definitely improving his ERA now, 13.8 ERA on the season, but has gone 1.2 innings thus far, only 1 walk, no runs given up.
Sandhill takes ball number 2 right there. And Matt, we discussed earlier, Judy becoming a pitcher in his sophomore year out in Cleveland. Obviously transferring over to Dayton this year, they saw some kind of potential in him. Has a swing and a miss, strike 3 there for Sam Hill. Will set down the first batter in the inning. Excuse me, maybe a scoreboard error as far as the count. If there was a swing and a miss there, I don't know if it was a foul ball match, something different.
I didn't see anything. That might have been a foul ball.
Could have been a foul ball. Hill will ground that one over to third. The throw from Luho, dug out of the dirt. Great play by Dobie. Get out number 1. So whether you think it was a swing and a miss or a 5-3, down goes Hill.
So to continue what you were saying earlier, I think some of the best pitchers are just hardworking athletes who love baseball.
Sometimes those guys play the field for a time. Jacob Brown played, middle infield until he was a throw ball. He's one of the best pitchers of our day and age. So I would tell you that, if you're a curious athlete that loves the game of baseball, and if you can't, wait until you're older.
Well, another nice scoreboard fix for you here, Matt. I don't know if you can they're and now their total run at 18. So I'm not sure what to make of that. Not sure how many solo home runs came around as we went to break. That one's fouled off, a 2-2 here on Torado.
Dorado hits us on the day. 2 flyouts to the left fielder and a hit by pitch. To get on the right side of the score sheet in this one. Down now apparently 18-0.
Matt, I'm going to assume that that's their way of saying there actually was only 9 runs.
I agree. I think that was the attempt to change.
Not sure how they haven't caught it back out. It's been a while, but
Well, Tim,
we'll do the 2-2 on
also human.
Fire from Judy outside. Scoreboard showed 2-2. It was a 3-2.
And now the scoreboard's back at 9-0, as it rightfully should.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody.
So apparently, the score disparity. Takes first base.
The sun does go down on our side of town, Tim, as we are getting dark and chilly here at UMass. We're going to run out of light here, most likely before the end of this one.
Well, Matt, I'm thankful I prepared this time as Judy fires in strike one against Travisano, excuse me. Got it prepared with the long sleeve this time. You've got your jacket, the California man. How's it been out here in UMass? And how have you been doing?
Snow's no joke, man. I'm going to be real. People told me that the wind would hurt. And I was like, well, I've been in windy stuff. I've never walked to class at 8 a.m. with wind chill and snow. That was bitter and mean. I feel like all the people that tried to warn me did so with love, and I should have listened.
Travisano swung at strike two, watched ball one come inside right there. The 1-2 on the UMass shortstop with Dorado leading off at first base here with one down. That one fouled off over the Dayton dugout and into the crowd of people watching from right field. Seems like they're more concentrated over there than they are over here behind home plate in the stands.
Sometimes it goes like that, Tim. Sometimes the fans down the lines are a little more engaged. That's the best spot to be.
Travisano whoops that one into right field. Station to station goes Dorado. Now two guys on for UMass here.
I hate to make fun of it. It is a 9-0 ball game. Just to get on here. Second baseman totally beat down Anthony Torriano. Faked the lineup as a ground ball, and I saw a full stutter step. With intricacies like that in the games that I think so fun, as they don't even bother to really hold the runners on here.
Judy. Ball number one low there on Sullivan.
Thank you.
UMass second baseman still 0-1 on the day, drawn a few walks. Fires that one right back off the pitcher. Liner right to the calf of Judy, and no play to be made
Definitely.
as Howell came out to grab it.
Definitely steps of Judy there.
Oh.
That hurt.
Yeah, you can see him limping still, and
You-
he should come off right here if you're Dayton.
I wish you guys could have heard that one at home. That was a visceral and loud of the mass of the poor man. That's not a good feeling at all. That hurts more than getting hit by a pitch.
If you're UMass, you'll take an oddity like that going in your favor at this point as bags are loaded now.
Yeah, and he'll take a warm-up pitch here to figure out if he can go or not. I don't know if Dayton has anyone in the bullpen. They do
They
actually.
have someone warming up down there. See if Judy continues after this collision with the ball.
Now, one thing to notice, this is an interesting struggle I had as a sub. It's difficult to maintain your lean over your hips. And one thing that you find is when you get tired, you end up throwing upright at a submarine spot. And it's a very inaccurate way to pitch. And it's something to look out for down the stretch here as Judy tries to close this one out. He may start lifting his chest a little bit, which can cause some fluctuation in the pitch location. But he drills that one in pretty
Yeah, it's a
rock
beautiful
solid.
strike one pitch right there, painting the outside of the zone as Beverly 0-2 on the day. The bag's full for the Minutemen here. It's a big swing and a miss. Pitch down the middle.
That's the one you want to hammer. Unfortunately, Beverly's down 0-2 now, trying to dig out of a hole here. Ground ball is the worst case scenario.
0-2 from Judy. That one grounded to shortstop. Wouters fires over to the first. Got him. That one just a slow trickler. No option to put the double play happen there. And the Minutemen are on the board for the first time today as Anthony Torrado comes in to score from third base.
Carter Hansen now at the plate, looking to take the two ducks on the pond. That be Trevisano and Sullivan out on the bases, and they're going to intentionally walk him
Interesting.
to get to their next hitter. Smart move.
I mean, it's of no concern. The force and the force out to either base is more important. That basically,
If you're Dayton, two down here already, as
Ryan Colvin having a talk with his young sophomore catcher.
Reynolds definitely want to see something happen here with this UMass offense. Bags loaded is not a situation you come across too often, and in a game like this, where you're down 8 in the inning, all it takes is one strike to really put yourself back in. You know, there's a feeling of momentum in baseball when you see a guy get a hit right before you, when you want to add on another good at bat after somebody. He's hoping to find some inspiration here in Ryan Colvin.
I think this is definitely Ryan Colvin's opportunity. But if you're a head coach, you really just want to see an action hit. You want to see a hard hit baseball. You want to see a barrel. You want to see the best Ryan Colvin swing he can take.
Duty. It's ahead in the count to start it off. Two down here. The bag's full. The UMass catcher.
You're not going to want to wait for the slider if you're Colvin. You're going to want to get on the fastball.
He grounds that one back up the middle, hops over the catcher, the pitcher. Play and steps on second. UMass unable to cash in a second bases loaded situation there. Does get one back in the 8th, but trails 9-1 with just 3 more outs to work with. Getting back to action here between UMass and Dayton into the final inning now, or at least what we perceive to be the final inning, barring a 8-run non-vote from UMass potentially. But for now, Dayton stepping into the plate, the 9-hitter, Ryan Manolfi, will he continue his 3-for-4 day in this game.
Yeah, Manolfi has 2 homers today, one in the game prior. In 18 innings of baseball, he has played fantastic. He's done great in the middle of the infield. He's done great up at bat. This would definitely be the cherry on top with a good base knock here.
JJ Blanchard digs in for UMass.
Manolfi 2 singles on the day and a homer, or at least in this game, excuse me.
Blanchard making one of his few so far, freshman for UMass. Has put in some decent work. Definitely has a strong fastball on him, trying to develop that secondary stuff. Stick. That one falls down low. It's a 2-1 on Manolfi.
Blanchard, the 6'4", 200-pound freshman, Framingham, Massachusetts native, at the flagship campus. So definitely, working hard for his team here, trying to close this one out.
It's a scorcher into left field off the bat of Manolfi. And like you said, Matt, that base hit has got to feel great for him. What a nab right there. Heading the bat out ahead of it. Through that 5-6 gap. I'll tell you, the Flash couldn't make that play at shortstop.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Tim. I think the Flash could have made that play. I think, if you can run it at super speed, baseball is really easy for you. I think that was a really bad superhero reference in actuality, but I know way more about superheroes. So
you know what? I'll take that one on the chin. I'll take that one on the chin.
Thanks, man.
I'm not going to say I'm in my heyday of knowing DC and Marvel. I believe that was back when I played the Lego games.
Now, the Lego games were fantastic. Lego Batman is a tremendous thing. We need to focus. Tim.
Matt,
No, we don't.
9-1 game here with the winning team up. I think they're cruising to this one just as we are, as that one's grounded over to the shortstop, Travisano. He'll make the play over the post. Up second there without a play to be made was Manolfi.
Willie makes a great stretch over there at first. He's been really good defensively in the last couple series that we've seen. I think his offensive prowess is definitely there. I'd love to see some more contact from him. Definitely has the ability to drive the ball.
Rylan Wuho in now as the third baseman.
Blanchard spiked that. Great play from Colvin to keep that front. Keep the runner 90 feet further away. Now, Tim, did you wear the blue shoes because you thought that Dayton would be wearing their baby blue gear? Or was that just an awesome coincidence? Well, isn't that dandy? They're quite nice. Their accessories are pretty good looking. I like their uniforms a lot.
Wuho grounds it over to short again. Travisano getting a lot of work here. Another single, 6-3.
You're an easy sleeping manager of a baseball team when, your middle infielders are getting most of the work on your team. I think some of the times that my managers, at least in high school baseball, have felt the most uneasy when the ball's getting hit all around the yard. But simple ground balls to the shortstops never really hurt anybody.
Jacob Fesco pinch hitting for Bobby Stang of Monroe Township, New Jersey, with that high school. Doesn't have a hit. He does have a hit this season. He is 1-for-1 with an RBI single against Davidson. And his only hit last year, fun fact, was a solo home run.
Dandy. His only hit last year was a solo home run.
Yeah.
Was he a sophomore? No, he's a junior.
He's a redshirt junior.
So technically he's a sophomore. Some may say.
Gets really in here on Warden Field, but straight out to left field. Under it is Sam Hill. And put it away here at the top of the ninth as the light wanes away in Myers, Massachusetts. UMass with 3 more outs to work with, down by 8.
So we're going to be getting packed up in the dark here most likely, but nonetheless, we're going to see the bottom of this inning. Why are you looking at me like that for?
Nothing bad. Nothing. Going to be a dim close to the game here. as Judy steps back out, and we'll be back in a minute. Getting back to action here in the bottom of the ninth, the last ups for UMass potentially in this game as they trail 1-9 here. Matt, how could there be some kind of way for UMass to get an offensive jolt here, get back in the game?
Well, I'll tell you straight up, Tim. Sorry, I'll let you make this call.
Well, that looper over to second base, quite unable to be made by Manolfi.
I'll tell you, Tim. You want to know one way to get back in the game? It's little errors, little hits. It's finding a way on where you can. That's exactly how you get back in a game. And UMass does it right there as Mark Willie finds a way on to first.
Come off of that looper had some significant spin on it. Manolfi just couldn't handle it correctly and flip it over the first in time. Even the flip was sky high. So Mark Willie on it first to start off the inning for UMass. As Kyle Hoog, the pinch hitter, digs in, taking Mitchell Schroeder's place as the leaders.
I mean, Matt Reynolds has a history of really good ninth inning pinch hitting decisions. So I definitely think we'll want to see how this one plays out here.
1-1 now. Judy's still working even after taking the line drive to the calf in the innings prior.
I think the choice to pinch hit a lefty to a submarine throwing right is definitely interesting to say the least. I wouldn't even say way behind him as much as the ball just fading out of his bat path away. Not ideal.
Charge that one high to right field. Ranging over is Hirui. That'll be an easy out. Number 1. Now the man on first. Dayton potentially just a ground ball away from putting this one in the books as a W.
Going to be Sam Hill now to make an impact here.
That one, Sam Hill fires out to left field. A diving play by Zorn. What a job to get the glove under it. On the dive. UMass has 2 outs here in the 9th.
Well, here comes your guy, Anthony Tirado. He's definitely UMass's staple hitter. He's been leading off as long as I've been watching the team this year.
0 for 2 on the day. Got a walk in his prior at bat. Judy to fire that one. Line into the right center gap. Willie not going to make the turn at second. They'll go station to station there with the Martini making the sound playing sound.
DeMartini, a solid center fielder in his own right. Tirado as well. 2 great center fielders in this game. Very strong middle of the field for both of these teams. Has been the case for almost every A10 team that's come through Amherst thus far. It really seems to be at the corners of both the outfield and infield to struggle.
Matt Travisano digs here and takes all one outside as the lights on the scoreboard start to illuminate the field a little bit. Dan Amherst.
At Trevisano. Top hitter for Amherst in his own right, trying to keep it alive.
Chopper over to third base, and that'll put away the game. Wuho to Dobie, and Dayton with a dominant 9-1 win takes both games of the doubleheader over UMass. They'll head into the game tomorrow looking for a sweep.
Definitely looking forward to our game tomorrow, Tim. It'll be myself, Matt Ford-Wellman, and my good buddy here, Tim Brown. We'll be out here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be on the call. Looking up here quickly. Okay, coaches are shaking hands. I got scared for a second. We have to commentate something. I'm losing up a handshake. But, Tim, we'll be back tomorrow. You'll hear from us. Definitely not what UMass intended. Great day, great showing from Dayton. 23 combined runs for the Flyers. Looking to continue that tomorrow.
Absolutely, Matt. UMass trying to flip the momentum. Still searching for their first win against Dayton since May 19th of 2023. And have lost the series to the Flyers for the 11th in a row. So definitely just trying to find a positive sign tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 1 p.m. Saturday evening. Tim Brown, Matt Ford-Wellman, and we'll see you when we see you.